it's half here.
What is this? Okay. Okay. Armaments, as in weapons. Armaments.
Feel the sound.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's the THX, but worse? Oh, way worse. That's the THX. I didn't...
You also need to unmute at some point.
It's broken. Okay, now it's unmuted. There you go. I found an unbroken way. Cool. Yep. How long is the stream? The stream is now 5 hours and 41 minutes and 45 seconds. The recording is 42 seconds. Cool. Yep, I pressed the wrong button.
Ah, I see. Ruined it all.
That is not the THQ sound. Whatever. THX, THQ,
HQ.
TH... Oh no, it's the sound company. It's the only reason you know it's Dolby Digital is because they get to put DD on everything. DD was on everything for years. All right, the Republic is going well. We shall save the Republic as.
Never to be touched again.
Oh God, no! God, no!
Save?
No! I was the wrong save name. Save name as no. The first episode for the Republic is already recorded. The first episode is already recorded. It just hasn't been edited yet. Because workers and resources will require editing. A lot of editing.
Editing for pacing. I assume.
Yes. Its recall was... It's real. Even the death of the Sound Blaster at the end? Okay. It's Dolby Atmos these days. It was Dolby Digital for years.
It was, yeah. Dolby Digital was the original. It's pretty much obsolete now.
Oh, the train builder built some training stuff. Oh!
Train?
We got trains.
Exciting.
We're making our own train tracks here. You have workers? You have zero workers. You have 0 workers. You went to pick up 0 workers. Why? Because I gave them construction jobs they could walk to. So they're walking to them. Construction stop. Construction no.
They knew it was easier to walk than take your buses.
Yeah, pretty much. I went from having 15, 20% unemployment. Nope, the game just disappeared.
Bye, game.
And this is the problem I have.
It's a good thing you saved it twice beforehand.
See, what happened previously is I saved at the end of episode whatever it was, and then the save was corrupted. When I saved over it. So I loaded that save, and then I went and did something else, and then went and resaved it. I added 1 building, that's what I did. So I resaved it, and then went to load that back later, and it was corrupted.
Your Soviet Republic was too capitalist and had to be purged.
Okay, so I haven't read this yet. Is this the Australian planet?
No, this is the... I don't even know what the hell it is. Electric planet.
Well, we've already got that confirmed, have we?
So there's actually a list of 4 names, and apparently this is predicted as well, being predicted as well.
The names there for the planets after we got the post about Vulcananus?
Yeah, it was somewhere back, actually where you're looking, I believe.
So I went to bring up this one, because this gives us the picture with the planets. So we have Vulcananus with orange science, and then we're looking at lime science now, right?
No, we're looking at magenta.
Magenta, strawberry, just strawberry science.
Strawberry science, yes.
Okay. All right. Pink. No, Sassy went to Pink. I was not allowed to come. I bought the fucking tickets, and then she went with a friend, and I had to stay home with children. No Pink.
Oh yeah, I survived the hordes yesterday.
Oh, she was there, was she?
No, Taylor Swift was.
Oh, yeah, I didn't buy those tickets.
Yeah, there were hordes of teenage girls out and about yesterday.
No, I bought the Pink tickets, which was, I don't know, $600 per ticket. They were double the face value is the price they went at. All right, so Live Nation, which is the same Live Nation in the US, right, sells the tickets to Ticketmaster, which is the same Ticketmaster in the US, which owns Live Nation or is merged, or it's the same company under two different brand names.
Yeah, they basically all own each other. One company.
And then they don't sell them directly to start with, and they sell them at a limited supply. So instead, you buy them through. I bought them through Ticketmaster, who had the same price, them at the same price as Ticket Tech, but because people had already bought the tickets, they could now tell you what the seat number was. Whereas when you buy them through Ticketmaster, you just get a seating section. They don't tell you what seat you're in; it's just some section. All right. So yes, bought it through them instead at $600 per ticket, and then got gypped because the person who on-sold the tickets didn't forward the separate or the included second tickets for early access into the venue 2 hours early and something else. Oh, free drink. So Sassy complained because she got there at 3 o'clock and couldn't get in till 5 because she didn't have the other ticket that was meant to give her 2 hours pre-access. Yeah. And then if you look at Live Nation, who decide who the tickets are, they say it's all part of the same ticket, it's all included. Except that's not how it's actually done in real life.
Of course.
And you only find that out after you get to the gate, not 2-3 weeks before when you get your tickets. They don't say, oh, by the way, there's meant to be a second half of this ticket that you don't have. It's just like bad luck. This is what you got. Okay. Freezing cold, bone dry, distant stars because of the dull purple sky, whisper clouds, gale wisp, blah blah blah. Desert. We're on the Dune planet. I was speaking of that. I want to watch Dune 2. I watched Aquaman.
Dune planet.
I watched Aquaman 2. It was bad.
Why did you do that?
It was really bad.
Of course it's bad.
I was watching it and I'm like, oh, Marvel's gone way downhill. And then I finally remembered after the third day of watching part of the movie, because it took me 4 days to watch it, that, oh no, it's not Marvel, it's DC. That explains it. It's still bad for DC.
Yes, all of the superhero movies in the last year have absolutely cratered.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's all a scam. Live Nation, Ticketmaster should all be shot. Last time I bought tickets was some years back. 10 years, probably a bit over. And they were quite good 10 years ago. But now, no.
Yeah, 10 years ago, they weren't all one big amalgamation. I mean, they already sucked. Still, it wasn't as sucky.
Is this just the person running with the wind background noise?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Oh, we get funny looking plants.
Yep, you get dead trees.
And, oh, that's oil for days.
Yeah, apparently, well, people is calling that heavy oil.
Heavy oil.
I'm not sure if that's the actual water tile or what.
Blah 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 blah. Oh! Can we get hit by lightning? Is it instant kill? Oh shit!
Well, the implication is that it's a few hits and then dead.
Oh, is this gonna be a power source?
It's actually interesting you say that, because Reddit has all been going stupid about this being a wind power planet. And they sort of missed the forest for the trees for an obvious power source there.
Perhaps it would be more useful intact. Yup.
It even clues you. Yeah, that's right. I remember. I read this at 4 a.m., so I'm a little hazy on the details. But yeah, it even clues you that it's useful.
Okay, so it's definitely so that's shallow water.
Oh, it's a shallow water tile. Yeah.
So we have the lighter one is shallow water, and the darker one is deeper shallow water.
Shallow oil, or something.
Actually,
I think the slow movement seems consistent with the shallow water. I think the other one is just
it's
the tile.
it's two different versions of shallow water, two different movement speeds. So
Yeah. Oh, okay. It is actually a slower speed.
that's slower, and that's even slower. Hang on. He's running on a path.
Yes.
Okay. Alright, oil mixed with sand. Or a fluted one. Oil's not so deep that you cannot walk through, but soft stand below forces you keep moving. Climb the next plateau, you find an ancient paved road leads through another desert. The rubbles, ancient walls protrude from the sand, making convoluted pattern corridors, passages. Ruins show signs of ancient machinery poking through the sand. Is anybody here a chemical engineer? Mojo might know. Titanium.
Yes.
Titanium sands in WA. You know the process I'm talking about?
Not really.
Okay. No. Is it titanium? Or is it cobalt? Yep. It is titanium.
Is this a recent thing?
It's how Australia produces most of our titanium. Comes from the sands in WA.
Oh, okay.
And garnet sand. Feedstock, titanium dioxide, pigment. So, but we already have titanium on the previous planet, don't we?
Yes. Titanium comes from Vulcaninus.
Zircon? Because this sand is oily. It's oily. It's an oily-like mixture. That's why I thought of it.
Sort of suggests a oil sand separation process.
That looks like it's just rubble, not proper rubble. Yep. It comes from oily sand. Yep. Okay, desert. Blah 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 blah. And it's just another lightning rod.
It's a city of lightning rods.
So oil sand, like in Canada. I don't know anything about Canadian oily sand. I imagine that is more oil, less sand, or more traditional crude oil. Right. Here in WA, we have sands that are very oily to the touch, and that's where we get all that titanium from. All right. By processing that sand. I was half expecting the player to walk into the building.
Factorismo. Interesting, the patch with all the different colours.
Okay. Strange reaction. Everyone architecture makes it feel like a robe figures huddled together. One row becomes a network of many rows, each leading to tower alien buildings. Retain their roofs. Must be much taller skyscrapers. Maybe using one as a vantage point. Countless small sites like this can be seen on the horizon. Not just a mining tower outpost, see you as a whole civilization. Blah blah blah. Okay. Okay. Alright, so I need to go Friday Facts, blog hunting. Okay.
Stealing ideas from other people, eh?
Nope, from the
No.
blog. From the blog. From the blog. So,
From the blog, yes.
from the blog. Yep. So blah 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 blah. Before all the Switch stuff. Before the moon. Expansion news. That's the one. Don't you feel like that should be on a airy planet full of wind and lightning?
It's either that or robotic enemies. Like Dyson Sphere. Because it says lifeless.
Did Jenny forget to remove? I haven't bothered changing it. We had the game crash. Captain Jenny is already a visitor's planet. This is not a pristine world after all. It's already a polluted one. No. Captain Jenny had to go to the crater because the previous island had run into some small issues when it flooded due to all the sour water that past Captain Jetty was dumping into the sea. It raised the sea levels. It's a marker that reminds me of a desktop capture. Alright, so this Friday Facts is about the Strawberry Planet. Not Australia. It's gonna be a Strawberry Planet. And there's supposedly some link somewhere.
It's the West Australian planet.
There's some link somewhere that should have a list of all the names of all the different planets, according to Reddit. Anybody happen to have a link to that? Hey! More results of planet names submitted 4 months ago. Click to see. Help crack planet's name. My friend discovered a constant naming theme revolving around Roman mythology. Well, these are planet names similar in convention to the planet's not all system. So, Vulcanus is fire. Bacchus, vegetation. Fagoa, lightning. Aquila, ice.
And so we got the lightning one today.
And then there should be a vegetation one. And an ice one. So the question is, this bit of concept art fits in with vegetation or with ice?
I like how you just sort of stretched it to fit both so you can get it somewhere.
Well, it's in theory one of three. This thingy is not going to be on Vulcanus.
Oh yeah, no. And it's not going to be on Lightning Land. I mean, they already, as I say, they already said that it's lifeless.
Did they? Did I skim over that?
Somewhere in the thingy it says, I think it was at the bottom.
Lifeless and desolate planet. No? Okay.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. Was it the bottom, very bottom or very top?
Okay. Vegetation, swamps. You reckon swamps?
Swamps / vegetation seems more likely, more predictable.
So the Australian planet, the Australia is going to be full of vegetation. And then the ice planet on the end. The ice planet at the end is pretty much a prediction. That's just going off the images. That's a guarantee. Floaters of the planet is on the plant planet. As the ice wall, wind isn't that conductive to lighter than air floating? Sure. I agree. All right. So the floater is on. Is on the Vegetation planet. Okay.
Do you know what the most likely answer is?
That we're gonna get 4 new races of biters.
No, that the floater was an early concept that was scrapped.
Oh, as the ultimate most likely answer, yes. Yes.
Like Red Desert. It feels like Red Desert 2.0.
No, we have Red Desert. Look at it. Look at it. That desert is red as red can get. Okay? It
I
just
mean,
took
moving
like
the goalpost a little. It's a little late. It was meant to be delivered in
6 years.
version 15, or 7 years ago, whatever it was. And then they changed it to yellow.
Can I? Does the blog have a search function? Oh, it does. Let's just start with red. Combinators, no? Okay. Ooh, Friday FX 50! 150! Red. Ah! It's Red Desert! Oh, yeah.
There it is.
Oh, yeah.
An earlier one.
Oh, yeah. 150, 167. Fine, red.
There should be a
what?
version 50. Oh, that's the new reactors.
Oh, that's the new boilers.
Because this is 13 or 14 before the
Red Desert
boilers
biome.
were changed.
Red Desert biome.
There it is.
Yep, the Red Desert biome. We decided not to render any more normal resolution from Blender. Going in just the high resolution, rescaling output amounts normal resolution using. Yeah, so they're not only doing. This is the point where they went to high resolution. They went from.
Yeah, that's when they started transitioning.
They went up to like 128 and then scaled everything back down to 64 in post. I think that's going to be the best picture. I don't remember a better picture. Yeah, I don't remember a better picture. Okay, whoop. The floater, scary pinnacles, probably farts helium. That's why it floats. Hydrogen farts are more likely unless somehow it's able to form fusion through a biological process. And if it could do that, then I'd expect it in space. Hey! Let's not worry about too much reality inside my Factorio, okay? The fact that I'm fighting giant cockroaches, we're just moving along. We're not asking any questions, or why they spit. Still not asking any questions. Okay, so 4 months ago. 4 months ago by Scott. And can I not have old Reddit? I know people are a fan of old Reddit, but I'm not. Oh god. Nope, I'm less of a fan of that. When the fuck did that change?
That is new Reddit.
Oh my god, I was not looking at that previously. Alright!
I mean, it is even worse than 2.0 Reddit. Somehow they managed to make it even worse.
I was looking at halfway point between this and that.
Yeah, I don't know how to get that one anymore.
If I just went to Reddit, that's what I got. But now I get some sort of nastiness. Some sort of very nastiness. Okay. Okay. Let's show the spoiler. That can sit on the screen. That's our planet list, which will go in a separate tab. Nope. It's not going to go in a separate tab anymore. Looks better like that. We have Red Desert. And the Friday Facts. Planets. Ad break. So we start with the planet. We specify it's this planet.
Planet as a king.
Go to the Friday Facts. Then we can talk about Red Desert. And it says the name, doesn't it? The name is in the title. Alright. So title. Read it. Wish there was a dark mode, but okay. And then that planet, and then Red Desert eventually. Cool. All right. Then we'll get back to ruling the Republic. I need to change categories for like 2 minutes. You the kingdom, Rabble? I get worried about you sometimes. Sometimes. Eventually, you guys will finish. Eventually. So, what's the answer, Plague? Mojo, what are you doing with your life? You were streaming.
What do you mean?
You were streaming what? Rail something last time?
What was I doing last time?
I don't know. Last time I called you was ages ago.
Oh, it was Factorio.
Oh, okay. It was Factorio. You were doing some rail thing previous to that.
Railroader.
Railroader, which has a new version coming out.
It's had like a little update here and there, but not much has changed.
I know there's some rail game version 2 coming out soon.
That would be. Oh no, that's already out. Yeah, there's a few coming. I was also doing Captain of Industry.
Oh wow! Finally! Finally! And?
Yeah.
No one else. Congratulations on winning King of the Hill. Using a butchered name. Seems appropriate. Seems appropriate. And thoughts, comments?
Yeah. I mean, it didn't help that I was doing it at the end of long days, so brain juice wasn't so good. You need a lot of brain thinky juice for that game.
You do when you first start. Yeah. I'm at the point of I no longer brain thinky juice. I just play on instinct. And then somebody stumped me in the end game. There's making microchips. Making microchips requires 16 processes to get it done. Like real life, where you got to build up the PCB in multiple layers. And I couldn't remember the layout for the recipe. It took me 2 attempts. Took me 2 attempts to get it. But yeah. I remember the ingredients. I just couldn't remember the order they went in. But yeah, it's water and acid, then plastic and gold, plastic and copper, and then the third step is gold, and then it goes back to step 1. And it does that loop 4 times before you get an output of a microchip, which turns into electronics. Number 3.
It just seems annoying, that does. I'm not actually up to that yet.
It's much like real life, and it's super late game. Electronics 3 you need for nuclear maintenance 3, launching rockets. That's about it. Yeah, laptops.
Suddenly just maybe yawn then.
Laptops.
I'm pretty sure in real life they only do it twice, not 4 times.
Depends on how many layers of PCB you have. And also...
Yeah, and I stack 2 more layers every time. 1 on the top, 1 on the bottom. So for a 4 layer, it only goes through twice. It usually goes through a different line as well. The first line is different. The inner layer is different to the outer line.
Well, this starts with a silicon wafer, so it's probably more representative of making the output is a microchip, which then goes into electronics 3 with a combination. It goes electronics 3 gets a microchip gets mixed with electronics 2 to give you an electronics 3. So it's definitely more representative of making a CPU, which goes through that process many times.
Yeah, it's sort of mixed PCB manufacturing with silicon manufacturing.
Yeah, a bit of both. Bit of both. But with that out of the way, you ready? We're good.
I suppose as I find the thing again, I was reading the forums, and it's mostly just degenerated into people bickering at each other. As forums tend to.
It's definitely gonna be wind power. Definitely gonna be wind power.
Oh no, it's just personal attacks.
Oh,
There were some arguments about how much power you get, how much energy you get out of a lightning strike, and blah 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 blah.
How much power you get
really makes sense
out
in
of
a game?
How much power you get out of a lightning strike is, it's ultra high voltage.
It's a high voltage, high current, very narrow duration, but it's still a lot of energy. It's just, in reality, as far as the real world goes, it's really difficult to capture that energy.
No, you need supercapacitors. Supercapacitors are always your answer. It has super in the title. It's guaranteed to be correct. Supercapacitors.
Haven't you heard? Ultracapacitors are the new hotness.
Oh, ultracapacitors. Hang on. But can I have a super ultracapacitor?
I have a feeling you actually can.
You get 1.21 gigawatts. That's how much you get from the lightning strike. Chat has answered.
The funny thing is, it's actually a lot more than that.
It's 12.1 gigawatts from a single lightning strike. All right. Apart from that, you good? You ready?
Let's scroll to the top. Yep.
Okay. G'day, mate, and welcome to the Friday Facts number 398 with Fagola, and I have my wonderful Fagola friend. How you doing, Mojo?
Hello. I don't know what that means, but oh wait, that's lightning friend. Yes, that makes perfect sense.
Sure, let's go with that. Not some sort of weird slur I thrown in at the last second, but the good news is we're going to land on an unfamiliar planet. It's lifeless, and it's a desolate place. The thin air is freezing cold, but bone dry. It sounds like Mojo. A distant sun twinkles in the dull purple of the sky. Wispy clouds race by as the gale whips up and grates against your armor. We're going to be finding out all about a new planet. This is going to be the... What is it? Strawberry Science? Strawberry Science.
Yes, this is the Strawberry Science planet.
Yeah.
The Mars-like planet. It's dusty. It's red. There's no life, so therefore no biters.
Nah, I'm hoping we get some friends. I'm hoping we always get friends. I always like new friends on every planet, but we'll talk more about the planet.
There'll definitely be some friends, but the implication seems to be is that there'll be a different kind of friend.
Oh, that's fine. I like new friends. New friends are always good. We should also just take a step back and just mention that Reddit some time ago guessed the name of Vulcanus. And now has guessed the name of Fagola. Fagola? Yep. So our other two planets should be Aquilo, being the ice planet, which is the bottom one. It's the one we're going to get all the science. We're going to finally become a science overlord. We're going to have all the science. And the Australia planet, because that is still Australia in the bottom right-hand corner of that planet, is going to be Bacchus?
Bacchus, yes.
Which is full of vegetation.
Which is, yeah.
Which Australia has vegetation. It's just brown and dry.
Half the year. And tries to kill you.
Yeah, it tries to kill you. Everything in the vegetation or around the vegetation, or sometimes the vegetation itself also tries to kill you. It seems somewhat fitting. Yep. And the planet's fairly green, but has some purple in there. So maybe they just mixed up their color selection a little bit.
I mean, it is literally a palette swap, or a hue shift.
Yeah. So at least now, by watching the Friday Facts, you at least have the name of all the 4 planets. Probably. We got 2 out of 4 right so far. So got to thank
at least going by that script.
Going by a script put together by Scott. I'm willing to bet he's probably right. Yep. Going for Roman. What is it? Is it Roman? Roman mythology.
Roman gods.
Yeah.
Roman mythology, Roman gods.
Yeah.
It's all sort of much the same.
Yep. So I'm willing to bet that this is going to be a Yeah, pretty bang on bet. Anyway, as you look around, you find yourself in a desert with endless snaking dunes of dust like sand. The dust almost seems to hover, as though gravity were overwhelmed by static electricity. As you press forward, you pass particular pillars of fused sand and metal. The sand gives away to rock as you find yourself on the edge of a windswept plateau. We have this nice video of us wandering around the windswept plateau, full of red sand.
And red rocks.
And red rocks. Yeah. That I'm sure I've seen before. Do you remember, Mojo? Red rocks, red sand, red desert, anywhere in Factorio before?
Yeah, I think I've seen it once or twice before.
The vegetation's new.
I think the vegetation is a lighter version of the volcanous vegetation.
Well, the vegetation almost looks like something that's been whacked. What do they call it? Where you get the piece of rebar and you put it in the sand on the beach.
Those things.
Those things.
The name of
And wait for a lightning strike. It looks like the what comes out the bottom of those, which has a name, which I can't remember. But the good news is, yes, we've probably seen red sand before. Back in Friday Facts 167. Somewhere between version 14 and above, we were going to have red sand. Red sand was going to be a feature. It was version 15, was it?
Yeah, we did actually briefly get it, and then it disappeared.
Oh,
it didn't disappear. It got changed to yellow.
No, we had yellow sand before that, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, we already had yellow sand, but it's just the red desert turned into a different shade of yellow.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we had a couple of shades of yellow sand. Yeah, we did have a red desert tile set. It just never really made it into Factorio. The good news is, Friday Facts 167, back in 2016. The good news is, 8 years later, maybe 9, we'll finally have red desert inside Factorio. Yeah. Woob is anything but ever late to the party. They always deliver on time. So, standing on the cliff edge, you see similar landforms in the distance. Flat tables of rock standing tall of the shifting dark terrain below. The sky dims, and in a flash, the thunder that was on the horizon only moments ago is upon you. Lightning pierces the sky and strikes your energy shield. It can't take many strikes like this. So, important thing is, at this point, we should have shields. We have shields at this point.
You have shields.
We also have...
It also means that a lightning strike isn't a one-hit death.
Well, shields? You only have 250 hit points. Shields absorb, what, 100?
Depends on which one.
I'm assuming the tier 1. Tier 1. Tier 1, I'm assuming does 100? I'm not sure. I can't remember off the top of my head. There's a whole conversion
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
There's a whole conversion, like 1 bit of damage equals this many kilojoules, or kilojoules worth of power that takes out the shield. Yeah. So yes, we have lightning strikes. We have lightning strikes hitting a building. So we have natural-ish. What am I thinking of? Lightning towers? No, not lightning towers. Mojo, help.
Rod?
Lightning rod. That's the one. Thinking that goes on buildings, attracts lightning. Lightning rods. Yes. In the stormy night, you run to evade the lightning whilst looking for shelter. Suddenly, multiple bolts of lightning strike the same location nearby. Some unknown silhouette looms over you. Could be some rock formation or perhaps another pillar of fused sand. No, it's fulgurite. No, it's nothing natural. It's alien. What is this alien structure? It's clearly ancient and beaten by the elements, but it does seem immune to the lightning. Deconstructing it gives some useful materials, but no more answers. Perhaps it would be more useful intact. That is key there. I'm pretty sure that means, especially with the lightning strikes popping back out of the ground as it hit this building, I'm pretty sure this is going to be our source of power.
It's the implication. The visuals around it sort of suggest as such.
It's going to be like a substation that either provides power in a small area or... Ooh. Okay, so Mojo. Okay.
Yes.
You've played a lot of Factorio. An awful lot of Factorio.
Yeah.
You've played a lot of modded Factorio as well. Okay? Have you ever played any of these scenarios that give you like burner assemblers and burner miners, and then rather than being something you get rid of very, very early in the game, you end up carrying them forward for quite some time?
Yes.
What do you reckon the chances are that we're going to, on this planet, pop into some sort of burner technology, because we don't really have any other power sources because it's boneless and desolate and dry and there's no water. So what do you reckon your chances are of having some sort of burner assembler that can be supercharged by lightning strikes when lightning strikes happen? Because being that they're a weather environment, I doubt you're going to be able to have these buildings either being placed or being naturally just part of the terrain, and they just get constantly zapped by lightning, because that would be annoying if not anything else. But occasional weather storms that pop across and then supercharge anything within its, I don't know, it looks like 6-7 tiles around it.
That's an oddly specific use case for burners.
Well, I'm thinking like a burner assembler that runs on burner power all the time, but then
And it just then just happens to run inexplicably on its own when it's struck by lightning.
well, if one of these buildings is near it and it gets a burst of lightning, it then cracks into a higher speed because it now has power for a short period of time.
It would make sense it would make sense to be a burner, a pure burner planet, but even then, that's not really in line with Factorio. It would make sense for a modded world to be, if a mod had some kind, space exploration style mod, had planets like this, and then one was dedicated specifically to burner only, like you couldn't have electricity.
Unless
That
you
would
had
make
an
sense.
unlimited fuel source that was unique to that planet and easy to come by. So, continuing.
I can't see it happening in base game, is the main thing.
In Stormy Night, you run over lightning whilst looking for shelter. Suddenly, multiple bolts of lightning, so location, blah, 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 alien. What is this alien structure? It's clearly ancient, bit by the elements. Yes, and more useful intact. But then, after ripping the building up, we wandered to liquid. Oily liquid. That, gonna rewind, has 2 different movement speeds. I think this is gonna be important later. It looks to have a shallow version and then a deeper shallow version that makes you run through very slowly before you pick up more speed. And then you hit a path, which is pretty good on an alien planet where you've just landed that happens to have paths. Yep.
And happens to be mostly sand, which has reduced walking speed already.
Yeah.
The walking speed of concrete, or possibly refined concrete.
I don't know if the sand has a reduced walking speed. I know the path definitely has a boosted walking speed. We are assuming the character doesn't have legs on. Yep.
In base game, sand does have a reduced speed.
Does it? I thought that was pulled.
As far as I know, it's still there.
I think it was pulled. Okay. As day breaks, the sun glistens off the dark substance below the plateau's cliffs. The surface seems to be dark, churning layer of oil mixed with sand. This is not a pristine new wall at all. It's already a polluted one. So, if you had a whole bunch of machines and stuff that only ran on burner fuel, which would be sucky unless you had some sort of unlimited fuel source right beside you, like oil.
Solid fuel.
Yeah.
Like oil that you could pump from a offshore pump into a chemical plant to make solid fuel. Then it would be almost sensible burner city.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah.
It's still not sold.
It brings the frustration, like making everything burner it makes the logistics problem very different. It doesn't introduce new things that you need to learn. It just complicates the existing mechanics inside the game. Because,
It also means you lose access to the big miner.
That's assuming there's something mined on the planet that's not oil.
Well, there's meant to be a resource that's unique to this planet that, just like Vulcanus,
Yeah.
like titanium, which needs the big miner.
Well, we did pass first video. We did pass some interesting stone structures. These ones. that looks like it could be something. Just this little occasional bit of
the
whatever.
decoratives.
I don't know if they're decoratives. They're very common to be a decorative.
They do keep reappearing.
Yeah. And they appear in the sandier parts of what we've seen. Like here, they appear in a there's a bunch of them tied together like a resource patch. You know, that's what happens with a resource patch. You get a bunch of things close to one another, like a resource patch.
They get struck by lightning.
Hey, look, it's fine. You can strike the iron ore with lightning as much as you want. I wonder if it's glass, quartz.
Quartz, yeah. I was thinking quartz or calcite also came to my mind.
Calcite, okay.
From the I think that was it calcite on Volcanus?
I don't know. No, we had what did it say? It started with L, not limestone. Something negates sulfuric acid. Actually, maybe just start with C. Yeah.
Something like that.
Okay, so we've walked into a city. Yep. You're seeing the Factorio dark shifts. Disgusting tar-like mixture sticks to your feet. The oil is not so deep that you cannot run through it, but it's soft. But the soft stand below forces you to keep moving. As you climb the next plateau, you find an ancient paved road that leads through another desert. The rubble of ancient walls protrude from the sand in places, revealing a convoluted pattern of corridors and passages. As you travel further, some of the ruins again show signs of ancient machinery poking through the sand. And then we get another video.
More videos. It's very show and tell, this one.
It is, and I don't mind it. I'm really curious what that is. That little black thing.
Yeah, that little orb.
Yeah, it's too perfect. It's too perfect. Yeah. And I really thought the player was going to move into the building. I thought we were going to have a TARDIS moment where we step inside the building. It's bigger on the inside than it is on the outside. Thought it was going to happen. So, in the distance, you see some much larger structures and clusters. The strange rounded shapes of ruined architect makes them look like robed figures huddled together. The one row becomes a network of many rows that all lead to towering alien buildings. A few of the buildings retain their roofs, and many of them must have been much taller, skyscrapers maybe, using one as a vantage point. Countless more sites like this can be seen on the horizon. This was not just a mining town or an outpost city, this was a whole civilization. Yet all that moves around this grave landscape now is the sun, the sky, and the sand. And our conclusion is a simple one. From the sounds, decorations, and structures are either... Some of the sounds, decorations, and structures are either placeholders or still need more work. The combination of all the assets so far, despite being unfinished, gives the new planet a really distinct mood and atmosphere. Of course, it's not just aesthetics that make Fulgora? No. Fulgora? Yep. Unique. We'll be back with more details about mechanics and what you can do on Fulgora soon. I am really curious. I'm also really curious, as you mentioned previously, the rubble on the ground.
Yeah, the rubble on the ground with all the different colours just looks so much like a mineable patch of something.
Maybe. So if we didn't have plastic in the game already, I would look at all the blue and I'd say plastic. I'd say some sort of plastic byproducts, junk, rubbish, debris, something. Whether they're resources you can pick up, as in like, discarded, same as when your inventory explodes because you pull off your power armor or something. Yeah. Whether it's random stuff like that. Ground. Yeah, random stuff like that thrown all over the ground, or whether it's some sort of mineable resource or what, I don't know. The fact that like this little blue bit here, this blue bit here, and this blue bit here are all the same makes me think that it's some sort of doodad that they've put down. Like
A placeholder, but I still think it's sort of implying that it's something mineable. There's also a second one of those orbs in that when it first reveals the patch too.
oh, is there? I missed the second orb.
And the
Oh yeah, right
Polystop's
there.
right next to it.
Right there. Underground cities? No, we're not gonna have underground cities. We're not gonna.
Mechanical enemy.
And we're not going to add a surface to a surface. A mechanical enemy, I could definitely see a mechanical enemy on this planet. I could definitely see something. It looks like Dune. So maybe we're going to have giant sandworms. That
I
explains
mean,
the
the
stone
timing
paths.
is just right for June.
Yeah, it is. They also have more of these lightning spires in the town.
Yeah, they reoccur a lot.
Yeah. So we could have like June, ancient giant worm that eats old civilization and your factory unless you put down paths. Hence why the planet's pre-paved with some sections. I can see that. 100%. Have to get... And don't forget, you can have requirements that are not on this planet but on previous planets. Like if you had to pave the world to build on it, but you might not have any bricks or any concrete, and actually the furnace from Vulcanus makes concrete. Or was it refined concrete?
You're reminding me of Riftbreaker, where there was one of the biomes where you had to put foundation down, otherwise everything slowly destroyed itself over time.
I don't think I put down foundation. I don't think I built on that one.
Yeah, it was the radioactive area where you had to, otherwise everything just destroyed itself.
Yeah, rings a bell somewhat. I'm trying to look for... Do you remember which Facts had the recipes for the foundry?
Ooh. That would be...
I thought it was last week's.
We did see some stuff last week.
Oh, it is last week's. It was in the recipes. Yes,
Yeah, it was in
so
the manual.
The foundry does produce concrete.
Yes.
And that's normal concrete, not refined concrete. I had to double check the image.
For concrete.
Yeah. So it is possible on our new, lovely, arid, windy world that you might need to build everything on concrete. And as your previous planet...
Out of stone. And this is a very stone-derived planet.
But the previous planet is covered in stone.
That too, yeah.
It's not covered in mineable stone. It's covered in stones that are literally sticking out of the ground everywhere and are super annoying. And hopefully you have a large robot army, and hopefully you haven't been throwing it all out and destroying it and turning it into landfill that you could then... Oh, actually, don't you get stone from lava mining?
Yes. I believe
you do. So stone, which you can turn to bricks, and then add iron ore, which comes from the last planet for free from lava. So it's basically a free endless product you don't need to go and actually actively mine an outpost for. And now the foundry that we're also given to us in the last planet can make concrete, which we both thought was odd in the fact that...
I mean, the recipe doesn't make any sense.
Well, currently...
I realize that, like, you do bake the stuff and the junk to make cement. But the foundry's a caster, not a kiln.
Well, but currently in the game, to make base concrete, or concrete tiles, you need to have an assembler that's taking bricks plus iron ore and water.
Yes.
And Vulcanus has no water. So... It's doing it...
a waterless process.
It's doing it without water. And with one of the items is probably a liquid. Not guaranteed, but probably a liquid. So probably iron as a liquid. And then stone bricks being added to the process to give you concrete slabs, we'll call it. To then very easily set up a logistic... It'll have to be a spaceship to go planet to planet. To then deliver it to our new planet. To drop it off, to put down bricks everywhere. By the same token, we also have Vulcanus here that has a link to, it's only linked to one planet. And that one planet it's linked to does not look like our airy planet. That looks like Australia to me. It still looks like Australia to me.
The lime planet.
Yeah. Yeah. So this might not be the next planet. It might be the planet after it. Or you maybe have to go back to Narvis to then come here directly.
That's what I would say as well, is that you have to go via the homeworld.
Yeah, so you either can go to the world beside it, going back to, what, Friday Facts 373. You can go to the world beside it, but not to, you know, not to make the jump. So you'd have to go either to this planet, then to that planet, or back to the home and then back out. But yeah, having you have to build everything on top of some sort of solid structure has been something that's been done in mods in the past, and has been done even in like scenarios in the past. Comfy and Redmu both have like one has.
Oh, they have
One of them
briefly.
One of them's Diggy Diggy, where you're in like a mine shaft, and
yes, that's an interesting one.
And I can't remember what the other one's called, but they have something similar where, you know, you had to make sure that you always had, you know, everything was placed down on concrete or had walls placed as ceiling supports because you were in a mine, right? But yeah, I could definitely see this planet, especially if we now have easy access to infinite amounts of concrete. You need to put everything in a solid structure, or sand damages over time, or we have the giant worm from
June.
Pretty sure the June books are probably in public domain now. So, yep. A giant.
Probably not thanks to Disney, but go on.
Yeah, well. It's whether they went to the public domain before Disney got their hands on it. But yeah, you know, some sort of giant, long, thin, worm-like but not worm creature that chews on your buildings because they're not put on solid foundations.
Like a biter worm.
Yeah, biter worm. We already have worms. This is their bigger cousin on a different planet. Yeah.
I was waiting for that.
Yep. All right. Anything else you want to add, Mojo? I'm curious about this planet. I want to know more.
I think I've mentioned everything that I had on mind. You know, the mineable resources, the curious mechanic. I mean, it's a lifeless planet, potentially mechanical enemies.
Mechanical enemies I could also go for. It'll be a mechanical worm.
Yeah, you go. Mechanical worm.
Worm.
The oil makes me wonder if you get crude oil, or Reddit has been saying heavy oil being mineable straight out of the water. So your offshore. So Vulcanus has lava. We have water on the base world, and this one has heavy oil or crude oil or something.
I don't know. Oil and different versions of oil as well outside my expertise of wheelhouse. But it definitely looks like the oil is going to be one of the main resources on the planet. Is it likely to be a different type of oil? Therefore, you're not going to confuse it with crude oil from Narvis? Probably. It's going to be
some, you know, it mentioned sandy oil, so you might need to do some kind of process to it. Thinking about it, actually, I don't think it might be crude oil. It might be heavy or even light oil, because that way you're a little bit more constrained. Otherwise, it sort of breaks everything if you give infinite crude oil.
What happens if you have a new type of oil?
You'll need a way for it to mix into the rest of the game.
But you're getting it so late.
Specific.
You're getting it so late in the game, just like the foundry, that you could have a brand new building that also deals with just the brand new processes and deals with the old processes. Like, you know, the refinery. It could be a refinery, you know, lightning powered refinery, let's go with, that needs high amounts of voltage, that suddenly works just with the new materials. It can also work back on the home planet with, you know, original crude oil, just like the big miner works on the home planet and the foundry works on the home planet. But then it'd be much more efficient to use the new oil processing on the home planet to do your normal crude oil, but it's a little bit harder to build. It's a little bit more unique, and it also unlocks a few new recipes that are only available with the new pretty building and with the new pretty resource.
In saying that, Vulcanus has sulfur just laying on the ground, which does defeat a fair, not a lot, but a fair chunk of the oil processing.
I think
Turning
more
into
of it goes to
gas.
plastic. A lot more of it goes to
Yeah.
plastic than acid.
Or sulfur specifically, because sulfur specifically goes into science currently.
Yeah.
That could change.
I doubt that'll change at this point. Blue sites has changed too many times.
We definitely don't need more blue sites change.
Yeah.
At least it doesn't take mining drills anymore.
No, it took pump checks at one stage.
No, that was purple.
Oh, was it? Okay, my
Yeah.
bad. My bad. Pump checks was way more interesting. Way more interesting. Yeah.
Dark times.
Oh, God.
Boy, did you need a lot of smelting.
Yes. All right. So yeah, I'm curious what's happening. I'm curious what's coming next. I'm also curious about the other two planets, especially with one of them being akin to Australia, and full of who knows what. And yeah, I'm just curious about enemies. I'm curious about what other challenges. Like the factory challenges are great. I'm always interested in the factory challenges. I love the quality of life features we're getting, but
It's very good.
I want to know about the other challenge that requires me to defend what I've built. Yeah. Flying biters, swimming biters, ice biters. Yep. We're on a windy planet, so we're probably gonna finally resort to another type of green energy, wind power.
That's the hive mind of Reddit says.
Yeah, I can see it. We've already got solar panels. Like, why the hell not?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, I have one final thought too.
Yep, sure.
End of second last video.
Hang on. Which is the second last? Yep.
So just above the player.
Yep.
Is that an Xbox controller?
No. No.
It looks a little bit like one.
No, that's not an Xbox controller. No.
Can't see it.
I can see the stretch. It looks to me actually more like a PlayStation 2 controller.
Oh yeah, with the it doesn't have the knobbly bits though.
What do you mean the knobbly bits?
For where the analog sticks are.
PlayStation 1 then.
It didn't have. Did it have the pokey up bits? I don't really.
I don't think it had the back triggers. No, I don't think the PlayStation 1 did.
No.
Yeah. So PlayStation 1 is more chance of being a PlayStation 1. Okay. And then in the next Friday Facts, Mojo is going to be looking right for like a SNES controller or a
Look for the RSI.
Mega Drive.
Mega Drive. There you go.
That took me a long time to think of. Mega Drive controller. All right. With that done and the words up printed right here in the sand, I'm going to call this Friday Facts here and done. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Do hope you've enjoyed. And myself and Mojo will see you next week for Friday Facts number 399. Yes, 399. All right, that's it. We're out.
399.
Thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay. PS5 fork confirmed. Sega Genesis controller. PS fork? No, there's not. It's not a fork. It's a controller.
Saturn.
Oh my god. All right, so
Did
full
anyone ever
grade.
have a Saturn?
Hang on. A Saturn that actually took CDs, or a Saturn that was the Mega Drive that then you put the CD into the cartridge thing?
Yes.
Well, they're two different versions.
I don't remember there being two different versions. I just remember there was like the PlayStation and the Saturn, and didn't really care about either.
So there was a Sega Saturn that had CDs, but then they did something that lets you play Saturn games on a Mega Drive or something, where you could put a CD like cartridge in. So you put in a whole thing into the cartridge, that then you put the CD in, and it would spin up the CD.
Might have been a CD add-on for one of the older ones, which is different to the Saturn, which was pure CD. I don't remember there being cartridges for the Saturn. because remember when Nintendo 64 came out, it was a big deal because they didn't go CD based because the industry was going CD based. They went cartridge.
They went cartridge, and they've stuck in last place since.
They carved out their niche.
Technically, they stuck in third place, but there were only three in the race.
They did the literal screw you guys. I'll make my own industry with blackjack and hookers.
Yeah. Dunbill Hunter. Underground cities could be a thing. I mean, have you seen anything that says they won't do that? Correct. I have not seen anything, but you're not going to land on a surface to then go to another surface on the surface to go underground. It's not going to happen. Stone is a bulk resource. It's not likely to do. Stone is a bulk resource, so not likely to do something efficient transport based on weight restrictions they have in rocket launches. So unlikely to be something you want to move between planets. No. No, because rocket launches are going to be cheap. Rocket launches are not going to be a consideration when it comes to moving things between planets. Your consideration is going to be same as trains. It's going to be a train situation. It is, do I want to build yet another space platform? So rather than having 3 space platforms going between planet A and planet B, I have 4. I have 25% more throughput, and hopefully you can devise with all the new options they've given us. And I think that's one of the reasons we've had so many new options given to us when it comes to train loading and unloading, is so you can make a more generic loading station for space platforms, not for trains. So you can have a space platform pull into orbit and it just gets whatever it needs to then launch and just turns around and goes back. All right, space platforms are literally, they're space trains. They're on the same scheduling, the same GUI that we have for trains basically currently. The only difference is they can transport you inside the building, and you need to make sure that they find fuel on the way. And we already looked at last week's. Vulcananus says there's no copper in orbit. So you need to make sure that the space train that's coming here doesn't require copper. Or has some sort of backlog of copper. Need to send water to a lightning desert planet. Water barrels initially, and then ice. Technically, you could have a couple of the space platforms if they're collecting ice and then drop it down on the planet. Maybe. Does Australia have any volcanoes? I don't. Mojo? I don't think
sorta is one of the things. Sorta technically.
Horizon Zero Dawn crossover with the Factorio. I wonder if you thinking oil water mix when you pump that require a separation stage. Maybe? June came out in 1965, so about 41 more years until it's public domain. Public domain doesn't quite work like that. It does if you're Disney and you keep buying licenses to things and then having the US extend your copyright repeatedly over and over and over. Public domain happens after the death of the order, not with the public. Public domain happens after the death of the author.
The Disney changes isn't really a thing anymore.
Not with the publication of the original book. It's some amount of years after the death of the author. And it's not a lot of them. It's like 10 or 15. There are special exceptions for those things that were made many years ago, like Sherlock Holmes, that have been able to piggyback onto the...
Oh, I get what you mean now.
Yeah. They've been able to piggyback on the laws that Disney's forced through for the Disney franchise. Oil, shale, or bitumen? Maybe? Oh, bitumen. If it was bitumen, then in theory we could build some sort of solid platform with just bitumen.
Yeah, it would be something that makes it something that has a semi-sensible closed loop.
Yeah. Buttons on the other side. Sega Genesis controller. I have no idea what a Sega Genesis controller looks like. I think it looks similar to the Mega Drive. Controller. Nope. PlayStation 1 controller. Oh, so they had tiny little shoulders. Itty bitty little shoulders. Where's Mojo's picture?
Okay, yeah.
Mojo's picture. Yeah, I can see that. That looks like the round bit. That looks like the round bit. The shoulders would be over here. On the back side where they wouldn't really show.
Bring up Xbox controller.
Xbox One.
Xbox or Xbox 360. I think I might be thinking of Xbox 360.
That's not the Xbox One, is it?
I think that's literal one. That's the new one. Not
Oh, Xbox original. There we go. Oh, that's a bit of a... Yep. Xbox 360 controller.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, that one's, the original ones are very chunk.
The original ones could not be sold in Japan. Why? Because they couldn't reach any of the fucking buttons. At all.
See, those are all. Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, so this is the controller I'm somewhat familiar with.
Yeah.
Uh,
It was a bit chunk that I remember.
I personally prefer the PlayStation controller. All right. I don't know about the new one, but I personally prefer it. Yeah, that just feels more natural to me. Before the joysticks, the original one, before the joysticks. Well, I prefer them with the joysticks, but yeah, it looks like your picture looks like an original before pre-joysticks PlayStation controller.
Yep, PlayStation I think is the.
There was a disc drive for the Genesis. Did I look up a Genesis? Yeah, Genesis. No. It's just no. Freaking boomerang. I'm not sure how much it was. Sega CD. There was an add-on for the Genesis. But that was separate from the Saturn. That's what I'm getting confused with. Sega Saturn had the CD drive. Okay, so now I'm thinking about the Genesis that had the optional extra for the Sega CD.
Yeah, it was the CD add-on when CD add-ons were all cool. But yeah, the Saturn, because it came out with that generation where they'd given up on cartridges.
Rocket launches are cheaper, but the time it takes to make the launch is still very much a consideration. No, you're talking about the 60 seconds if it's fully beaconed and everything. That's a current rocket. The new rockets are not going to be. They're not going to have the same animations. They're going to be way quicker to launch. Squeeze the bitumen and you get stone, i.e. sand and crude oil out. Oh, yeah, okay. It could be bitumen. You can use the character as existed, whatever time ago was needed, but not the new versions until they also insert correct number of years. Sherlock I know came up when, what was the Enola Holmes or whatever that movie was?
Yes.
Yeah, you know the movie. Yeah, they got taken to court by the Sherlock family name, the Sherlock Trust.
Yeah. This is the thing I was trying to think of.
But they're in the same universe and have the character Sherlock Holmes in it. But there's enough of a difference that they got through fine.
Sir Arthur Conan Doyle Trust.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yep, that's right up there at the top list of names that I'm going to remember. Sega CD. Hey, that's the one I want. Known as the Mega CD. CD-ROM accessory for the Genesis. PC Engine CD-ROM system. Yep. Yep. It died. I think it's technology standpoint to use a rocket, one of the fundamental biggest materials in the history of mankind, is to use large quantities of stone, which can be found pretty much everywhere in the universe. Just stupid. With Factorio, anything is possible. Anything that's possible has been made in some way or form. Yeah. No, if we can get bitumen and get stone out of it, and then turn stone with our new foundries somehow into a solid surface to build on, I could definitely see that as being part of this new planet. It was made with the Japanese tiny little hands in my the Sega Genesis control pad. Yeah. That was the end result of the case. That they changed the character. They just. That was the result of the case. That they just changed. That just the change of the character doesn't refresh the character's age. Okay. PS3 controller was the sweet spot for me between usability and features. PlayStation. Yes, Google. Now I wish to use left and right to change what I'm typing. PlayStation 3 controller. Yeah, that's what I'm familiar with. $15. 111.
Jeez.
30. Okay. Okay. It's kind of amazing. Unreal hasn't made their own console yet. Why would they?
Yeah, there's no real reason to.
I have a certificate in records management. Need to have a filming with copyright rules, but not works experts. I learned a lot during these courses. I've learned a lot about copyright because I have to, because I keep getting filed with stupid claims. The new behaviors of characters are what's copyrighted in Sherlock Holmes, while whatever behaviors that were originally out in the public domain. Sherlock, I believe that the early stuff is in public domain, the end stuff is not in public domain. So it's in a grey spot, where if you take from the early history, you're fine. If you take from the later history, you're not fine. You might need to see what the existing process are for beta in Western Canada. I was just spitballing the idea. Later, Hank! Kogan scam. It could be just Kogan resells a whole lot of things. Kogan bought Dick Smith mainly for more online trustable space to sell stuff.
Did they buy Dick Smith after Harvey Norman?
Harvey Norman bought the retail side, the store side, and then Kogan bought the online side. So Kogan bought the online side, so they had a more reputable web page to sell through. Consequently, and Kogan is like your Amazon, your eBay. They have resellers that can sell through their webpage. So that could be that somebody's listed it and hasn't bothered updating it. Some time ago. And it's just mass sponsored as Kogan sponsors.
As Kogan do.
Yeah, they run ads. And they buy them in such bulk that if they happen to have a match, they're going to have a match. Even if you click on this and don't buy this one, but you buy a different one, they're happy. All caught up? I'm all caught up. Yes. Yes. All right. But we're getting into Friday Facts 400. Mojo, do you have a prediction? Do you have a prediction on Factorio 1.3.2 DLC? All right. Do you think we're going to see it this year? I'm going to narrow you down to this year.
It'd be, if it is, it'd be a real stretch. When did we get? Let's see.
When do we get? Ask the question. You'd be surprised what answers I have.
Need to pull up the blog. When did we get the Volcananus? Was November. Asteroid collection was November.
Oh yeah, most of the details have happened in the last couple of months. Alright, that would be... We're really light on details.
Quality...
Oh, we had... No, let me summarize. We've had features are coming. We'll talk about quality and a few other things that are going to make the community go apeshit. We're going to give you broad strokes, very broad strokes about the expansion. We're going to give you some details at the end of last year about what's actually coming, what's actually confirmed, although it is Vulcanus is the most developed, but also not complete. The other planets are even less developed than Vulcanus. And here we are in February where we're giving you highlights of the new planet that has a whole bunch of placeholders. And I believe...
Still, like, pretty far developed. Probably not as developed as Vulcanus.
Vulcanus is more developed. The Vulcananus. Vulcananus.
Yes.
It's where you put your it's where the fire comes out. Okay?
There's a lot of fire there.
I have to text Max. There's a boom in the box. Okay, so it was the most developed at the time, but they said that it was not fully developed. It was still missing some details, and they have said, even with this one, that there are placeholders as well. Did I hear Chipper whatever? I don't think I actually have one of those in Australia. That's why I can't pronounce it, because I just don't care.
Chipotle?
Yeah, that's it.
I had to think about that one because see, those sorts of things are not really a thing here. So I don't know. We don't know what any of those words really mean.
Can I press some sort of capture that? Yeah, cool. That one. Like I literally only found this out like 2 weeks ago. I had some takeaway store that's really popular in the US. I actually have one local to me, but I had no idea it existed.
We do actually have Taco Bell, but they're not very common.
Oh, it's a Taco Bell!
And they've been around for a long time.
Not here, they haven't.
Yeah, they've been comparatively short time compared to other fast food places, but they have been around for a while.
In fact, it's been around here for such limited time, it's not even showing up on Google Maps.
No, it just opened. There was one that I know of that's been around for at least 6 years.
Yeah, okay. So
6 years.
I now have a Taco Bell. And I have one somewhat local, and the next one is directions. That'll do. No, you can't know my location, Google. Just give me a rough guesstimate.
There's another place
40 kilometers away
here for a long time called Gomez, I think it was.
Yeah, Gomez we have. Gomez and something.
It's like Plunket Gomez or something. It's very expensive and meh.
Gomez and what? Guzman and Gomez. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, I went and got lunch. No. I went and got lunch there. That didn't work. Please work.
Both of them are very expensive places.
I went and got lunch there last week when I had to go pick up iPad Shove from school. And lunch cost me $50.
Yep.
For me,
right for
one person. I think I got two tacos, a chips, and a drink. Yeah. I think we'll see Planet release is about... I think that we'll see this Planet release about half a year after they resumed Friday Facts and gave us the 1 year timeline. So on track to tell us about another 2 planets at 3/4 a year after they resumed, and the last one just before release. Nuggets? So you reckon we're halfway through? You reckon early next year? Okay.
So the thought that I had, which I slowly try to tape it off with, is that this second planet is 3 months off from Vulcanus's announcement.
Oh, it's been 3 months.
Yes, so when we heard about Vulcananus, that was November. It's now February.
Okay.
So about 3 months, which means we've got another 6 months to wait until we find out about the rest of the planets.
3 months for the next planet. Well, 3 months to dawdle on this planet, then 3 months to tell us about a new planet and dawdle about that planet, and then 3 months to tell us about last planet and be light on details until right at the end. Okay, sure.
How many planets are we waiting for still?
2.
There's 2.
There's more details on this one and 2 more.
Months. So, bare minimum, going by those numbers, is August. End of August, I should add. And then there's probably another 3 or 4 months after that for anything else. I mean, it is also assuming that 3 months is enough time to develop the rest of these things, or I suspect this has all been fairly well planned out, and because Woob now has this release process pretty well refined now. It's nowhere near as
Slap happy.
haphazard as it used to be.
Slap happy, much better term. Slap happy.
Yeah, slap happy. It's like, oh, we're 99.95% of the way to releasing version 16. Let's spend 6 months redoing the GUI or something.
No. Don't do something important like that. Let's do something trivial. Red sand.
Well, I think they deleted red sand in 16 as well, or turned it back to yellow sand, toned it down to yellow sand.
Hunter, I know you're talking about hemorrhoids. It's fine. 50. The cost to get that high around here. 50. If the cost to get that high around here, I'm moving the poorest country in the world where I could live like a king. Yeah.
The real question is, can you be king using hemorrhoid cream?
Yes. Okay. Humans around here is always stale. I'll stick to Zambero. I just don't like takeaway. It's always bad. It's always bad. Did you know the 90s was a commercial for hemorrhoids with a ring of fire? You know, Johnny Cash did not like that. He sued the ads company. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Especially they didn't pay. Well, to use music in a ad, you need to pay licensing and you need to ask permission. Friday Facts resumed with 373. And that gave us about 1 year's of Factorio 2.2, which is 52 Factorios. This was Friday, which is 25 Friday Facts of the 1 year timeline. So we're very much on track for at least about 27 Friday Facts. Did this say a year? Did this say a year? I thought there was an updated one that said more than a year. The rewards, expansion, good news. We're here. The good news is...
Oh yeah, their multi-step plan, but I think things have changed a little bit.
Finished product in about a year. Okay, no, they did say about a year.
Oh, okay.
And this was August. So we're predicting 404 is August 2024.
That doesn't sound right. Because we're on 398 right now.
It's a Sunday anyway. What? Since the way around where the goal is, we can start approximating date by releasing the expansion, which is planned to be out a year from now, which is still a long time, but at least it's going to be more perfect. But delays. Yeah, I'm expecting delays. Okay, so chat is predicting end of this year. Mojo is predicting this year or next.
I'm thinking if it's going to happen this year, you're looking November, December, like late November, December.
Okay. So what you're telling me is everybody should book Christmas holidays or book February holidays?
Yes, pretty much.
Okay. Half-Life 3 has been confirmed. Half-Life 3 has been confirmed by half a dozen people. This has never come true.
Half-Life 3 was never confirmed.
It was
such a Mandela. It's Mandela effect, you know.
It's confirmed by a whole bunch of people, but never by anybody who matters.
Half-Life 3.
Okay. I'm saying early 2025.
3.
Okay, so Dumbbell Hunter. is saying 2025.
February 31st, 2025.
Yep. Planning out as code for, yeah, we're going to aim for that, but we don't really have any idea if it'll work. Yeah, that is 100%. Planning for Christmas 24, and I'll be pleasantly surprised if it finishes earlier. So games, you want to release your game in September or in Feb. You do not want to do anything after September and before Feb. Okay, as far as game releases generally go. Okay, because you are going to be competing with games that are going to get rushed out the door, that are rushed out for Christmas releases, or you're going to be competing with January when nobody has any money, and people don't start having money back until about Feb. Retail just plummets, absolutely dies in the ass in the first month of the new year. Everybody who's ever worked retail can tell you that. This is when do Factorio devs care about schedule? We're getting bug fixes on a Saturday. So Simrock, everybody who works there is gonna be on a salary. So if they choose to work a Saturday or a Sunday, that's up to them. And our seating would be a classic example. He'd work and stream on weekends. And he'd be doing bug fixes on weekends regularly. And after hours, like 10 p.m. at night, his local time, he'd still be at work because that's when it suited him to work. But that's an individual person. If you're going to do a major release, I'm assuming that contact? No. About us. I'm assuming Tomas is saying to Covrex, and also Glex is saying to Covrex, maybe we don't want to release in a shit point of the year. We want to aim for a better point of the year. And in the meantime, we can just do 3 months worth of polish. All right. Like, the company's not hemorrhaging money. We're in no rush. All right. We're going to, like, even if they aim for this particular release date, they're going to have, if they're ready in November and they choose to launch in Feb, there's going to be a whole bunch of things that weren't quite finished. And they'll be like, yeah, we'll just, delay for 3 months. Bill said, but it also said that retail works best, prices are just below around price. Like, I don't know, $31.95. Oh yeah, 100%. Oh, yeah, that's 100% true. Hunter, that is 100% true. All right. The amount of times Sassy has told me that something's, it doesn't work so much if it's like $19.99 because that gets rounded up, right? But if something's like $2,099, she'll just tell me it's $2,000. I'm like, no, it's $2,100. That's an extra $100 you're gonna pull out of nowhere. That actually matters. They're gonna release it when they're satisfied with it. Simrock bullshit. Bullshit. Mojo.
Yes.
Factorio 1.0 was released in whatever date where they pushed it forward or pushed it forward. They pushed it forward because of Cyberpunk, which then got pushed back to run into the exact same release date as Factorio 1.0. Have they said how many things were missing from 1.0 that got pushed to 1.1 and they were much happier with the 1.1 release?
It was a lot of stuff.
Yep, and they said in Friday Facts that we really wanted to have this stuff ready, but it wasn't ready in time?
Yes.
Yes.
In fact, the first FFF afterwards was basically 1.1, the real 1.0.
Was it?
Yep.
I thought it was a number of months. It was a number of months. It wasn't straight away.
Yeah, it was a few months after.
November. What are we? 40, 2020.
361. There's your artillery.
Yeah, I saw. So it's 2 months later. 2 months later.
2 months.
1.1, the real 1.0. See? So no, they will push it out early. They will push it out early, and they've done so before. Petrol station say, why bother? And set the margin at $2. The station across the road had their price at $1, $1.99, and got more business. Some people will cross the road for 1 cent per liter. Other people won't. I'm one of the people that won't. I just can't be bothered. I don't care. Although I don't use that much petrol. So this is one of the reasons I don't care.
The general wisdom is that you never should. Because you spend more trying to save.
No.
I mean, that's a poor example because... Or the original... I should go back to the original quote, is that you shouldn't drive around looking for a better deal.
Oh, yeah, correct. Correct. If you spend half a day going and visiting every store to try and find a cheaper price, you wasted your fucking time and effort. You should have done it on the phone.
And you've also burned through the saving.
Yeah. Factorio is going to get done when it's done. I don't think they really care that much about the financials. DLC has potential to become one of the best sold DLCs in the history of Steam, no matter when they release it. This is true.
That's true of older Factorio.
And GasBuddy.com. I'm guessing that's a US specific one. We have a government one here. Fuel near me, fuel something. I don't know. I type literally fuel into Google and it fills in the rest for me.
Yeah, Kanukistanian.
But yeah, no, yeah. And even then, like Sassy will detour for fuel, at least she used to. I'm like, nope, I'm going A to B. What's on the route that's cheap? That's where I'm going to. And I've seen her drive and waste a quarter of a tank to save herself like $3 per liter. I'm like, you realize
you basically spent more than you saved.
Oh no,
a lot more.
Probably broke even. But the sad thing was, in like 2 days' time, she'd be driving that way anyway. And it's one of those, it's an area where the price of petrol is always cheaper by like $2 or $3. At which point, just go to, literally, we have a survey next door. Just go there, put $10 in it. And then in 2 days, when you're going there anyway, fill up on the way. So yeah, no, I think they'll be out either prior to September or Feb. And yeah, I didn't realize we were 6 months in.
So they are cognizant of that sort of thing now. So
they are now.
In the past, they were always very much...
Who cares?
We'll do it when it's ready and that sort of thing. But I don't think they really stick to that mentality anymore.
No, I think being in early access, it didn't matter because you were releasing updates.
It was sort of a continuous thing. It was a different mentality back then too.
I think going for 1.0, they learnt a lot about actually releasing a final product. And then...
and I think around version 6, the debacle that was version 16, I think, really taught them a lesson.
Version 16? That took forever.
Yes, it did take forever. And I think that burned out a lot of people.
A lot of player base just not having any updates for
and
forever.
And the player base, yeah.
Yeah.
And just drawing it all out, and it was just a chaotic mess, and yeah. And they did cop a lot of criticism from that. 17 was a lot, and 17 was a lot more, it was a lot more focused and to the point, and then 18, it just sort of happened.
The 18 happened, but that was the stepping stone to 1.0. It was going to become 1.0.
I forget what it was for 16. It was meant to come out in like August, and it went all the way back to like March or something.
Yeah, it got pushed and pushed and pushed. And then it had... 16 had a major step. It had Infinite Science. Was that 16?
No, that was 15. It had the belt update.
For better performance, no longer using undergrounds. Yes.
No, it was the new belt code, so that uses the transport lines, so you didn't have the belt lag anymore.
Yeah, so no more using undergrounds for everything.
Oh yeah, to save on UPS.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
You spend more to drive across the road than to save a couple of cents. It's a mental thing. Sounds better. 1.99 or 2. It's the starting number 1 versus 2. Yeah. I agree. Like $4 for a game versus $39.98. This is why whenever I'm doing whenever I'm doing a playthrough of any game, when I get to the end of the series, I definitely always give my thoughts on the game and the price. And if it's $39.98, my issues, I just say $40. And 9 times out of 10, I compare it to a movie as like $40 for a game. If I get 40 hours worth of entertainment, that's $1 per hour. That's very, very good value. If you compare it to a movie where you spend $20 to walk through the door and sit there for 2 hours and possibly be disappointed, you're spending a lot compared to a movie. Because people go to the movies all the time. And movies are not cheap. Burger Giant States tried selling a third pounder burger because people thought it was smaller than a quarter pounder. A third pounder? And people thought it was smaller than a quarter pounder? People are just stupid. People are just stupid if they thought that a third pound was smaller than a quarter pound.
I don't know if that was actually true though, or if it was one of those internet urban legends.
Most people are settled with taxes, so prices will always increase anyway. Here in Australia, we pay like the sticker price is the tax price.
Yeah.
A bigger number on the bottom equals bigger burger. Hey, well, people are stupid. Hey, David Mouse. Hey, no. All right, I'm gonna let Mojo go continue his life. I'm gonna go back to work as a resources.
Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, well, the Republic needs me.
Yeah, if the save isn't corrupted.
Shut up, Mojo. Shut up, Mojo. You're not helping. You're not helping. He just wants to know if my save's fucked. It had an autosave since. You can't compare a movie to game. Oh my god, the game just crashed outright. You can't compare a movie to a game. When you go to a movie, you spend $20 to completely immerse yourself in the movie. Have snacks and everything else. Hang on. No. You don't. You $20 does not get you snacks. No. No, it gets you entry.
Who buys snacks at the movie anyway? This is like the most overpriced way to get food.
Spend $50 to $100, bring the family along. Yeah, I know. I'm not. I spent $150 to bring Sassy along for a game. It was a waste of time and money. You walk out and talk about the movie for a week. I don't. You don't do that for a game. Didn't say 20 get snacks. You spend $20. You completely miss yourself in the movie. Have snacks and everything else. Well, yeah. Buy snacks at the supermarket next door. Yes. All right. Load game. Try that save, which was made. Game date the day before. Yup. Unless you live in 95% of the world where taxes are included in the price. Yeah, 95% of the world, that is the price on the front of it is the price. Okay, no longer saving things as a zip. For fuck's sake.
So how far back are you?
1 day. No, same day. Create a new zip save, create a new save. No longer creating zip saves. How do you implode when you zip a fucking save file? Okay. Where is this? Where is this? Where is properties? Installed files. Browse. It's one of those games that actually puts the save files in, the folder for the game, which is holy shit. Oh, it makes a folder. Oh. So if you save the game as a zip file, so the save file is listed in a folder structure. So that's the save I just took. And if you zip it, it literally just zips it. And then for some reason, I can open the zip, so that assumes... Yes, I know. Thanks, WinRAR. I have no idea where my product key is. Test. Oh, no. The archive is corrupt. Wow. They're corrupting their own zip files.
Or it could be a format that it doesn't understand.
WinRAR?
Because there's a few different ways you can package a zip.
I'm pretty sure WinRAR is going to do all of them.
In theory, it should, yes.
Let's try that one. Yep, that test worked fine. Yep.
If you...
Yep.
I'm trying to think where it would be. Is it if you press info, what comes up?
Version 2.0 deflate plus store.
Does it say deflate or something?
Yeah, deflate plus store.
Oh, okay. There you go. It is an actual zip then. Classic zip. So they just suck at using deflate.
And that's the same. Yeah. Okay. No longer saving things in zips. It just means the save file is already 150 fucking megabytes. Cool. All right. Come on, game capture. You can work. You can work. OBS, you can do it. There we go. Okay. All right. I will catch up with you next week, Mojo, for more Friday Facts.
Alrighty.
And you might eventually send me a fucking address so I can send you a fucking koala.
Oh, yeah. I should do that, shouldn't I?
You should. Or you'll have to go get it from the US.
Yeah.
All right, man. I'll chat to you later.
Alright, see ya.
Bye.